It is perfectly formed, and in it dwells both the soul and the spirit of man. It is quite simply my body. This house might last 90 years, as in the case of Mother May. It may last 100 years, but finally it shall be dissolved. One day, regardless of how much I've exercised, regardless of how much bottled water I have drunk, regardless of how much expensive perfume I have used, it shall be dissolved. And since it came from the dust, then to the dust it must return. Paul calls it here a tabernacle. He uses the root word skenos, which speaks of a shifting, moving tent, which can easily be folded and transported somewhere else. This house may be beautiful, it may be handsome, it may be strong, being fearfully and wonderfully made, but regardless of its shape, its size, or its beauty, it is temporal and it is not permanent. The second house is what we call home. This house is known as my address. It is where I live, where I sleep, where I eat, where I find comfort. It is here that the postman delivers my letters. It is here that my bills come. It's the house that I pay rent for, or my mortgage. It is here that my taxes are sent. My car is parked outside. My credit history is registered here. My family and my relatives tie me to this house. But one day, if it's a castle, if it's a mansion, if it's a flat, if it's a shack, regardless of what it is, I will receive notice to quit and to leave because my time is expired. Regardless of how much I loved it, regardless of how much my wife tidied it, regardless of how much it's admired, but one day I will leave it because naked came I into this world. Naked I must go here. House number 3 is called my Father's house. It is sometimes called the house of prayer. It is called the church. Sometimes we are brought here to be blessed as infants. Sometimes we are brought to Sunday school as children. There we are taught about Jesus. Some of us leave at the earliest opportunity. As soon as we could choose, we abandon this house. Oh, God help me. Some, like Mother May, however, have said, like the psalmist in 27:4, one thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. Others can say, like Carlton today, I was glad when she said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Some have actually boasted, I only go to church for christenings. I only go for weddings. And I only go for funerals. One thing is certain. If we do not go voluntarily, one day we will carry there. And we won't have any say in the matter. And all that is said about us, we just won't hear. It is better, therefore, to make the choice to go to the house of the Lord. This third house gives many privileges. It's a place where we can prepare, where we make our preparation, and where we make our calling and our election sure. It is how we live in this third house that makes the difference when our fourth and final house shall come. So in closing, I want to just espouse this fourth house. Paul calls it here a building of God. A house not made with hands, And he says it's eternal in the heavens. In verse 2 he says, it is my house which is from heaven. The condition of moving into this fourth house is that my earthly house must be dissolved. In summarizing then, my first house was the tabernacle, my body, which was given to everyone who comes into this world. House number 2, in all civilized societies, whether we own it or rent it, or we're just given a lodging, we occupy a dignified home. Yeah. House number 3, we are frequently invited, but often we reject. But it is here that we are introduced and prepared for our final home. Mother May lived in Jamaica. Said she lived at Burnt Oak. She lived at Neasden, where we used to visit her. She finally lived at the Middlesex nursing home. But I believe that there came a day when she realized that although my son is in the travel business, but there is a booking that he just can't make for me. I'm going to make this booking myself. Oh, bless God, somebody. So no disrespect to God, though you fly people everywhere. But I believe that she realized before her mind started to go, I must make the down payment on this home. I must obtain my citizenship. I must get myself a passport. I must book a ticket. And finally I need a boarding pass. Oh, glory to God. For there is a house which is coming from heaven, which I must qualify for while I still can. In closing, the songwriter said, we'll never pay rent for a mansion. Our taxes will never come due. Our garments will never grow threadbare, but all will be faithless and new. We'll never grow hungry nor thirsty, nor languish in poverty there. With all the rich bounties of heaven, his sanctified children to share. In this fourth house, there are no graves on the hillside of glory. There's no funeral cottage in the sky. There are no hearts broken and bleeding. For there we shall never more die. The old will be young there forever, transformed in a moment of time. No sickness, no sign forever. The stars and the sun to outshine.
Hallelujah.
Why don't you make sure today that you have got a booking, that you've got your title, that you've got a right to this house? Because soon and very soon, there is coming a day when we shall answer to our names. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. And there we shall give an account of every deed that's been done in our bodies, whether it's be good or whether it be evil. Let us prepare for that day. God bless you. In Jesus' name.